So here's my latest little fun purchase. I got two 2006 Yamaha Waverunner FX Cruisers. So these are pretty close to the top of the line ones for that year. They're 4-stroke. So this is the first jet ski I've had that you don't have to mix gas and oil. It just has a separate oil tank that you have to change the oil just like a car. So I got these plus the trailer for $2,500. They're non-running. Now we've already done a little bit of work to these, so I should have done videos a little earlier, but it's not a whole lot different. I'll explain what we did. But first, let's just look around these. So these are really nice units. You can tell that they do have some weather. The seats have been replaced. As you can pretty much tell, they're in like excellent shape. But some of the other stuff does have a little, you can tell it's got some wear just from outside, but everything really looks pretty good. And these are semi-electronic gauges, so it does have the RPM gauge that's the old manual style, but it does have some electronic gauges right next to it, fuel and fuel and some other things. So we got these, and they had been sitting for, it's a little unclear, at least 4 years, probably closer to 6. And both of them are completely identical. They're made in the same batch. You can tell by the number there, 3547 and 3259, so they're pretty close. They were owned by my uncle and his friend down in South Texas on the coast. So these things had been run in the salt water, which is usually kind of a killer, but he did a really good job of flushing it. He's very thorough, so he would run these and then flush them exactly the way you should. So there's really not any saltwater damage of any significance at all. Everything looks really good on both these units. You know, a little bit of salt, calcium residue, whatever, but overall looks pretty good. So when we got these, of course the batteries are dead. So I went ahead and bought a couple new batteries. That set me back a couple $100. This one right here, this first unit, turned over. The engine turns over perfectly. Would not start, of course. I did drain some gas out, even though the gas actually smelled like gasoline and not varnish, and it was pressurized. So that was encouraging, but I did drain some gas out, but it turned out that there really wasn't much gas left in it in the first place, so that was a positive. And then my son Joey went ahead and put some gas in it. So it wouldn't turn over, and it turned out that it was the fuel pump. And so he's a pretty good mechanic, so he popped this open, The fuel pump is back inside, and it really is just a $20 part. And he went ahead and replaced that, and this ski fired right up. So this thing runs. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the spark plugs because we did pull the plugs, and they're probably the original ones. They have almost no electrodes on them at all. So let me run around here to the other one, and we'll go over this one a little bit. So this one, we did the same thing where we pulled put the battery in it and pulled some gas out of it, put gas back in it, and tried to start it. However, when we tried to start it, the engine was locked up, and you could see the engine actually do this when the starter would engage. So what we did was we pulled the plugs, thinking that maybe that would release a little bit of compression, and then whatever was locking it up would free it up. We went ahead and put a few drops of oil down the cylinders. So then we cranked it, and then it started turning, but it was making a noise. We initially thought it was a rod knock or something, but we checked, actually a broken rod. We checked the compression, and they had compression. I'm not sure about our compression gauge. That didn't seem to work too well, but it did have compression on all cylinders. And the more we cranked it, the less noise it made. And what we pretty much determined is that it had a rock stuck somewhere in here that more or less pulverized itself and cleared itself, because there was some dust on the ground here. And once that all cleared out, this thing turns over fine. So we did order another fuel pump just because it's cheaper than going to AutoZone and getting a universal one. So that should be here probably tomorrow or Friday or maybe Saturday. Let me just kind of quickly show you what the engine looks like in these things, because this is some engine, and it's of course identical in both. So this is a 4-cylinder, 1.9 liter, 20 valves, so 5 valves per cylinder, 140 horsepower engine. So this is some powerful jet ski. Now it's pretty heavy, so I don't imagine it's going to get up and go too well just because of its weight. But I'm really excited to have these, because the other jet ski that I have in my workshop here is a 96 Yamaha Wave Blaster, and it's very unstable. It's very narrow, and so it doesn't have much room here, and so it's very hard to get on. It's a fairly light ski. Even though they list it as a 2-seater, it's really not. I mean, it takes an act of God to get 2 people on it, and so this one is a lot more stable. It'd be a lot easier to climb on, a lot easier for 2 people to get on. So in any case, we'll keep you up to date with both these jet skis, but it looks like all there was to it is these 2 fuel pumps that just went bad over time, and these things should run fine. The trailer's actually pretty good shape. That board right there in the middle needs to be nailed back down in the back. It kind of flops around a little bit. It does have, let me see if I can open this up with holding the phone at the same time. Put the phone down. So it does have a couple of really nice covers for these skis, which is really nice. The only other thing I probably have to do is deal with this rusted out connectors. So there's a few little minor things to address, but all in all, assuming the fuel pump comes in, I should be able to go ahead and title these and have these on the lake within a week. We'll keep you up to date.